Welcome to another podcast with Elsa, where I talk way too close to the microphone and give myself a headache when I edit this. So, today we are going to talk about how I became a software tester slash QA, grew into QA engineer, and I'm doing this because everyone's been asking me. So here you go, a very too personal story put out on the internet. So we have to sort of circle back to me growing up, and as I was growing up, I was always the techie, the nerd, the kid that was interested in opening everything up and looking inside. So naturally, everyone came to me with their technological problems. So my first job was actually as cleaning rooms, and then I started as a bartender. So those were actually my very first jobs. Of course, first jobs are never really what you intend to be doing, but it was, I actually loved those jobs. Very, very cool. Moving on, the day came where I had to pick a university, and I actually intended to study Japanese language. Now, yes, this is very, very different from what I'm actually doing right now. And to be honest, I actually knew when I checked it in that I was not gonna get in because there were only 15 spots and my native language was not that great. My grades weren't that great. My English was tip-top, but not my native language. So naturally, I knew that I wasn't gonna get in. So I also checked another option, which was IT, and I chose it because it stated automation and computer science. Now, to my understanding, I thought it was gonna be something about hardware, something that where you will have to do welding, use screwdrivers, the stuff that I would be actually interested in maybe doing. And because it had only 3 years of studies, so naturally I chose that. But of course, as you can understand, I didn't know what to study. I didn't even know what I wanted to do. The message came that I got in the IT degree, and I was very, very surprised, even though I wasn't surprised at the same time. But I was like, okay, let's just go study. When my study started, I realized, me and my other classmates, we realized that we don't actually know what to do with the degree. We didn't really understand also from the studies how we're going to apply to our real life, or how's it going to help us get a job. Early on, me and many others understood that, this is not going to cut it. And after I finished my studies, I will have no job. Basically, who is gonna want to take me just with this degree? At my second year, I decided that I was gonna try to get my foot in the door at some type of IT related thing. I decided to do this through internships because it made more sense. Someone wants to take you, don't pay you, you gain experience, they get free labor. Maybe not the best calculation, but internship made the most sense, and it was the path that I was gonna try. So I put myself out there. I told people, I checked companies. I hadn't even started applying yet, but turned out that my aunt was actually working in a place where they do take interns, and in their IT department, they would be taking on intern. So I signed up and I was scheduled to go on an interview. It went great. She was a really, really cool lady. I don't know. Does it sound, I don't know. Is lady a bad word to say? A good word? Is it polite? A lady. Okay. The same day or the next day, I got a call from her. Of course, everything in the interview went great. I know stuff about tech. I'm just open to learn, whatever. But a day after or something, she gives me a call back and tells me, hey, I have my friends who have started a company. It's new. There's a lot of young people. It's fast paced. It's going to be more fun than this place. Well, because it was a government facility, so naturally it would be a different pace, a different group of people. And naturally I was very young, so she saw that. So she referred me further and I was signed up for an interview. I did it. So they took me. I was very, very excited to start this thing. Only at the first day, I only then realized what the company actually does and what I would be doing. And it turned out to be testing. And so prior to this, I didn't even know that testing or anything like that even existed. To me, it was a world that didn't exist until the moment I stepped foot in that office and they explained to me everything. And so it was like a whole new world. And, I'm very eager to learn new things. I'm naturally just very eager to, find out many things about many things. So it was very interesting to me as well. And I was just ready, to get the experience. And naturally, I'm also a hard worker. So yeah, those 3 months passed fairly quickly. I learned so much. And I was also doing this full time while also studying full time. So I would be there in the office during late nights, during weekends. So it was a very, very busy time. Also, I was like getting not a lot of sleep because I also had to do homework. I was also participating in students' organization where we'd be having parties, events, traveling. Yeah. So this time was very, very busy for me. And after those 3 months passed, I remember, I can remember this very, very clearly. The day they called me, because it was the end of my 3 months internship. And they tell me that they are sort of hiring me. And you know what? I was just really, really excited. And I was just so happy that they would be giving me a chance and actually offered me a job. I was ecstatic because, it was very diverse. And yeah, I really liked the environment. There were a lot of young people. I actually stayed for 5 years, 5 something more years at the same company where I started. Yeah, during this time, I actually passed my ISTQB foundation level. And I also passed my ISTQB advanced level test manager. And yeah, it wasn't easy also to study those, to learn those while I was still in university, by the way. I was trying to finish it up as well, my bachelor's. So yeah, it was a very, very, very busy time of my life. And somehow I managed. But also, I do know that I chose to go to do an internship while I was still living in dorms. I had €50 rent to pay and I was young. I could manage the whole thing, just sleep 3 till 5 hours and I would be amazing. So I'll put myself in the perfect position at the time. Also, yeah, I am a very hard worker. So wherever they put me of whatever projects, I would dive head deep and just, learn. If I didn't know how to do it, I would just learn or figure it out along the way, which is also why, my proactivity has gained me a lot of knowledge. But the point I did not yet mention was that the company that I actually stayed for 5+ years turned out to be a QA consultancy. So this is actually a very good thing for me. I got to gain a lot of experience in a very short amount of time. That's why it was very, very fun for me to see the company grow. When I started, we were I was 34th something in the company. When I left the company, it was across 300 people. During the first years, it grew rapidly. We moved 2 times and yeah. As a QA consultancy, also, this gave a chance for people like me, also very proactive ones, to have chances to lead projects, to switch around in projects. So during this time, I was also participating in a lot of projects, the big ones and the small ones. So very, very diverse. This would also help me gain experience naturally. And yeah, I was just ready to take on everything they gave me. So my transition actually happened very naturally. I started as an intern, then I was a junior tester, then as a software tester, then I transitioned into QA engineer and QA lead. At one time in the company, I was working on 3 projects at the same time, leading 2 and participating in the 3rd one as well. There were specific hours that I would do, maybe not full time. That's why I could manage 3. But yeah, I get to shuffle around to 10+, actually more projects during this short amount of time, which is great because I learned a lot about companies, how their teams are structured, how their solutions are helping others, what testing techniques others are using. And in one project particular, I was sort of given the time to roam free. So I would use that time to actually think of so many different ways on how I could break the device. I made myself a huge sheet with anything that I could think of or find during the early days of the internet. There wasn't AI to help you. I would be figuring out how to do it with myself. Yeah, I actually gained so much experience and I'm truly grateful because this opportunity has landed me further in my life and here I am right now talking to you guys. This was sort of my transition and it happened very naturally throughout the same company actually. Now, you also guys have asked me about how to actually get internship and where to find it. So I thought let's just tackle it in this video while we're here. The thing is, you just have to, first of all, network. Then you have to reach out to others and just put it out there that you are actually open. The next is you have to be very proactive. You should write companies and ask if they are looking for interns or someone who is willing to learn. You have to put yourself out there if you want to get the chance. For me, as you heard, it was a different case, but I was sort of, I also got it out of word of mouth, and it just so happened that everything fell into place and someone referred me further, and yeah, here we are. So you have to put it yourself out there. There's a lot of companies that are open to looking for interns. You just have to get a chance to get your foot in the door. Because as I've seen lately, the ads for junior testers, some junior testers, like I was checking it today, are asking for 3+ years experience, which is honestly, I don't really get it, as I don't feel like you're a junior after 3 years. Plus, how are you supposed to start as a junior if they're asking for 3 years of experience? So I understand your pain points these days, and if you are ready to work like 3 months, I don't know how long the internships somewhere are, but on average is 3 months, then you can, start it that way. Just you do have to, communicate if they are willing to keep you if everything goes well. You have to put yourself out there. I can't really give you any specific companies because they change a lot. The types that I have referred to companies that I've started also have changed some rules around, so I can't really refer to you to a specific one. You just have to go out there and search by Googling, by just going to LinkedIn and asking everyone else that you can think of. But yeah, guys, this was basically how I got started, how I have climbed to where I am right now, and how I am sharing these videos with you guys. And it was actually very fun to look back and think of the fact that I could have been a Japanese translator, and yet here we are. Wild ride, really. Life is interesting in that sense, right? You thought you were gonna learn something else, and now you are here doing something totally different. It's wild to think about it. But yeah, it's been very, very fun. And yeah, honestly, I feel like this is only the tip of the iceberg on everything, really. And I'm just happy to have you guys tag along. So hit the subscribe, hit the like button. Thank you for joining Elsa's podcast. See you in the next episode. Peace.